Market influence and the pastel analysis. This allows us to exploring organizational strategy, operation, and risks in association with the market influence and the industrial factors. So how does market factors influence organizations? Well, certainly it's going to shape our strategic planning through the pastel factors. Well, later on, I'm going to talk about what are the pastel factors. It's going to, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily, proactively or passively, an organization need to make operational adjustments because of the changing in market factors, such as the technology upgrades. Right now, everybody are contemplating about how to deal with the AI revolution for the next 5, 6, 7 years. And then there's also has a risk management, whether there's a legal environment are changing, given the current election, just finished election, we have a new administration comes in the White House. I'm pretty sure the legal environment is going to be different, or business operating, market or economical or physical policies, so on and so forth, are different than what the Biden administration is going to be. So the organization need to be proactive to deal with this changing in legal compliance requirements, so on and so forth. And then we also need to continuously monitoring to ensure our resilience to survive in the market. Not only survive, but thrive as well. All right. So what is the pastel analysis? In a high-level overview, it's a framework to evaluate external factors. The PESTL stands for political, economical, social, technology, environment, and legal. So we need to analyze all those 6 dimensions that relevant to our organizations. That's called pastel analysis, or maybe there's other way to pronounce it, but it's pastel analysis as far as I'm concerned. So for us as accounting student, so what is if we doing a pastel analysis for us, so what are the typical examples that we may face? So from political perspective, I know that there's news out there. Mr. Trump is talking about elimination of Department of Education. So we wonder if that's eliminated, or any policy changes up there, how does that impact us for educational funding, for those of us for those of you that have student loans? How is the changing in political environment is going to impact your student loan, the ability to borrow student loan, and also the ability to pay them off, or whether it's going to be forgiven or not. Economical. Well, right now it seems how tight is the job market. I know that for accounting industry, this year it's not as good as 2 or 3 years ago. Social. What is the trend in work-life balance right now? Are we talking about working from home, remote working, and some of the companies require people to go back to work in the office? For example, Amazon is requiring everyone to go back to office 5 days a week starting January 1st, versus some other high-tech companies may only require 3 days, and the state of California only require 2 days. So when you go out and try to interview for a job, that social trend, will that impact you? Is a trending? It appears that the trend is towards going back to the office versus when we were in the pandemic, nobody go back to office. Technological, of course, the AI, everybody talking about the blockchain adoptions, how it's going to impact us going forward as an auditor or as a tax planner or accountants work for organizations. Environmental factors, demand for sustainability expertise. They're talking about a few years back, they're talking about in addition to financial statement, a company needs to have ESG disclosures in their financial statement. So do you have that kind of expertise if you are working for an organization that does have ESG needs? Legal, updates on accounting standards. We need to keep update on that. We need to continuously monitoring the accounting standard changes. All right, so that's just a few examples. So in today's environment, especially looking at PESTL analysis, well, high inflation, relatively speaking, we're no longer in an ultra low interest rate environment compared to 5 years ago, or 3 years ago even. So is it how this inflation is going to continue or not? How's AI going to transform in accounting tasks going forward? Is data privacy? If the AI comes in, and then what about data privacy? All right. So those are today's. If you do PESTL analysis, these are a couple of examples you are certainly trying to analyze. You can't avoid it. So what is then the industry specific factors are something like competitive landscape, if you are in high tech versus if you are in healthcare versus you are in educational. So each sector has their own challenges. Innovation impact in the AI may impact those industries differently. So that's industrial specific factors. Regulatory compliance, healthcare safety laws certainly is different than education regulations. All right, and the unique risk. For example, they're using an example like agriculture industry, California, Northern California, in the valleys. There's a lot of farmings. There's a lot of fisheries over the river. The weather are very unique. So it's a PG&E. Like if pretty hot weather, there's a power outage, there's a wildfire. Those have significant impact on utility companies, and so is our insurance. We know our homeowner insurance right now premium has been 50%, 60%, even doubled over the last couple of years. So those are the industrial specific risks that we need to deal with. All right. Versus the market factor. The difference is industrial specific factors are narrower, very targeted to any specific sector. Certain factors will influence one sector but have no impact or insignificant to another industrial sector. As far as the regulatory impact is tailored to industries, like FDA is more of a drug and agriculture industry, and then the NIH or Department of Healthcare, probably Human Services will be more on the Medicare, hospitals and those things, and the Department of Education will be on the educational, middle school, high school, colleges, universities, and so on and so forth. All right, and then the Department of Commerce, tariff probably will trading, global international tradings. All right, so those are the general discussions about the market factor and the industrial factors. Thank you.